Family of a pregnant St. Louis County woman murdered in her home waited more than 4 years for her killer to be brought to justice. Now they're suing the person they believe is responsible. Tonight, News 4 investigator Susan Corey uncovers questions about the investigation, while law enforcement says this case hasn't gone cold.
Every day is just trying to move forward because there's no joy and it is hell.
There's no easing Karen Mason's pain. Her daughter Sarah was found dead in the kitchen of the St. John home she shared with her boyfriend. Sarah was almost 8 months pregnant with a daughter she named Milani.
Losing Sarah, it was like my heart just exploded and I can't put the pieces together.
It would take weeks for investigators to call this case a murder. The first in what Mason says was a series of missteps by investigators.
How did they miss this that night that they didn't realize that this was a violent crime?
Years ticked by without anyone being charged. Now Sarah's family is done waiting. Mason and her son are taking who they say is the killer to court.
We know it's a matter of getting this person behind bars.
In this petition for wrongful death and damages, they claim Sarah and the baby were killed by Sarah's boyfriend, who was the father of her unborn child. We're not naming him since he's not been charged criminally. He hasn't responded to the Masons' lawsuit and never returned our request for an interview. According to the lawsuit, Sarah's boyfriend shot her in the back of the head, then went about covering up the crime to make it look like an accidental injury.
It was very clear it wasn't an accident.
St. John police say Sarah's boyfriend called 911, claiming he found her on the ground, bleeding from her head.
Did police ever say anything of, we think this is a murder case or she's been shot?
No, that night, actually, they were thinking maybe it was something to do with the baby, that maybe she had an embolism.
The police report notes it was a sudden death. Murder is never mentioned. It's something the Masons bring up in their suit, saying police did not follow proper protocol and investigated the crime as an accident. Because of that, the lawsuit says police did not conduct a proper criminal investigation, including failing to test Sarah's boyfriend's hand for gunshot residue and failing to conduct forensic tests.
There was so much blood that went through the floorboard of the kitchen down into the basement that it was literally this thick.
In their suit, they claim the coroner notified law enforcement that the cause of death was a bullet wound to the back of Sarah Mason's head and not an accidental fall. We asked the county for that coroner's report, but was told it's confidential because the case is still open.
When I got the news that they found a bullet in her head, I was not prepared for that either.
It would take another year for St. John police to make an arrest. They recommended charges, which now former St. Louis County prosecutor Robert McCullough declined. Almost a year later, St. John police again recommended charges. Wesley Bell was now the prosecutor in office. He also refused charges due to lack of evidence. Bell's office sent us notes explaining no witness or video evidence can put a suspect in the house. There's been no admission from the suspect, and no murder weapon or shell casing were found. We tried again and again to ask Bell about the case. Instead, he sent a statement writing, "We don't have the evidence we need to ethically charge the case, and everything we say, including interviews, are evidence that can be used by defense counsel. I will not appear on camera," emphasizing to any potential defendants the specific weaknesses in our case.
I can't grieve. I'm still angry because the person is still out there. So it's just a never-ending nightmare.
We also tried talking to St. John police, another closed door. But Chief Robert Connell gave us a statement saying he hopes the family knows we haven't given up on this case and the individual who committed this crime, we have not finished pursuing them.
The shirt says it all.
The Masons wear their feelings
It's
close.
pretty straightforward. We need justice for the Mason girls.
They filled picture frames with memories of Sarah,
This is my baby girl.
now wondering if her smile masked what may have been going on,
I really believe she was making the break.
and questioning what happened in the moments before Sarah's death.
When we got possession of the house, at the doorway was a box full of her prized things that she wanted to take.
But for Mason, one thing is certain: she won't let this case go cold.
My daughter was violently taken from us. I feel like I'm a walking empty shell.
Since we started asking questions, the county prosecutor's office has reached out to police wanting to know if they'd like the case revisited. We've also learned the U.S. Attorney's Office, along with ATF, are looking into the case, but we were told they can't comment because it's an active investigation. This is a story we'll, of course, keep following as it unfolds. Susan Elcory, News 4 Investigates.